In 2009, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 made $800 million in the first 3 days, earned a 94 on Metacritic, and became the biggest entertainment launch in history. 16 years later, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 launched to a 1.5 user score on Metacritic, the lowest in franchise history, with UK sales down 61% and a Steam peak of just 100,000 concurrent players compared to Black Ops 6's 300,000. So how did this happen? How did the same franchise go from setting entertainment records to having the worst user reception in its 20-year history? And no, this isn't a story about bugs or bad servers or microtransactions. This is about something much worse. Let's break down exactly where Modern Warfare 2 succeeded and where Black Ops 7 failed, starting with its reception. For Modern Warfare 2 critics, and players actually agreed, a 94 on Metacritic with an 8.0 user score, 6 Game of the Year awards, IGN called it a no-brainer purchase. Players genuinely loved this game. But why? Because Modern Warfare 2 introduced systems that every FPS for the next decade would copy. Where Call of Duty 4 had 3 kill streaks, UAV, airstrike, helicopter, Modern Warfare 2 gave you 15 customizable options: Predator missile, AC-130, Harrier strike, and a tactical nuke at 25 kills that could end the entire match, meaning you could single-handedly decide the outcome through pure skill. Pro perks rewarded dedication. Special Ops gave you 23 cooperative missions completely separate from competitive multiplayer. Death streaks helped struggling players stay engaged without punishing good ones. These became industry standards. Battlefield copied the progression system. Halo studied the reward structure. If you played any FPS between 2009 and 2015, you played something influenced by Modern Warfare 2. The cultural moment was massive. 10,000 midnight launch events worldwide. GameStop opened 4,000 stores at midnight. The marketing budget hit $200 million, 4 to 5 times the development cost. The Prestige Edition came with functional night vision goggles that people still collect. So was it perfect? No, it also had its problems. One-man army noob tube spam was insufferable. Akimbo Model 1887 shotguns could snipe you across the map. The Javelin glitch turned players into walking suicide bombs. But these were balance issues in a game with an undeniably great foundation. The players tolerated the chaos because the core was that strong. And to be honest, using those overpowered setups was fun at times. Then came the maps. Terminal, High Rise, Rust, Favela. 16 years later, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 in 2023 remastered all 16 original maps and marketed it as one of the greatest day one multiplayer offerings of all time. A 2023 game sold itself on 2009 map design. Modern Warfare 2 set the template, it became the standard, and for years, Call of Duty rode that wave. But eventually, that template would crash for numerous reasons, which is the most obvious from the Black Ops 7 launch, where it also gets messy. Exact global sales don't exist because Activision won't release them. We're working with regional data from the UK and Europe, Steam charts, and analyst estimates. According to those, UK sales were down 61% compared to Black Ops 6. European sales were 63% below Battlefield 6. On Steam, the peak concurrent players hit around 100,000. Black Ops 6 had reached over 300,000 the year before. Activision posts generic launch celebration stuff on their socials. No sales figures or biggest launch ever claims like they did with Black Ops 6. This is a company that has spent 2 decades screaming about breaking records. The silence wasn't subtle. Analysts estimate the game is underperforming by massive margins. But without official numbers, we're piecing together a picture from fragments. What we do know for certain is that the franchise that used to set entertainment records is now afraid to publish its own performance metrics. Let's talk about the campaign, because this is where Black Ops 7 face-planted into brain rot territory. The design decisions are baffling. The campaign requires a constant online connection with no pause function. If you get disconnected, you restart the entire mission. As of writing this script, there are no checkpoints. Quit mid-mission, and you're starting over from scratch. The campaign was designed for 4-player co-op, but provides 0 AI companions for solo players. So when the game tells you to plant C4 in 4 different locations, you're doing it 4 times in a row by yourself. While the level design clearly expects a coordinated team, but the mechanical problems are nothing compared to the tonal disaster. Modern Warfare 2 campaign had weight. Ghost and Roach get betrayed and executed by General Shepard. That moment still hits 16 years later because it mattered. You spent the entire campaign fighting alongside these characters. You trusted them. Then Shepard puts a bullet in them and sets their bodies on fire. Ghost's fate remained a mystery for years after Modern Warfare 2. The game ends with Price and Soap hunting him down for revenge. Hans Zimmer composed the score. The stakes felt real. You felt something. Black Ops 7's campaign features a hallucinogenic device called Cradle that turns the entire experience into what players are calling Skibbity Toilet Call of Duty. Giant plant monsters eat Frank Woods. You fight floating mages. There are spider zombies and demonic enemies. There is a boss who is a giant version of Michael Rooker that went viral on social media for looking exactly like those brain rot YouTube videos that your younger cousin watches. This actually happened in a Call of Duty game. The Gamer's Review called it a profound waste of your time. Kotaku said the plot sounds like a 6-year-old kid asked to come up with a big action story on the fly. One player review summed it up perfectly. I wanted a game about wars, shooting, bombs, but they made a game about fantasies, dreams, and nightmares. The difference is fundamental. Modern Warfare 2 made you invest in characters and then rip them away. That's storytelling. Black Ops 7 asks you to fight a giant Michael Rooker in a dream sequence. At this point, I want to explain why they did this. Like maybe they were giving the player base what they wanted, but no. I can't figure out a reason why anyone would have ever wanted this. And in the middle of this disaster, players discovered that 600 calling cards in Black Ops 7 appear to be AI generated. The breaking point was the reeled-in card, appearing to show a character with 6 fingers. Activision also confirmed their team uses generative AI tools to help develop some in-game assets. Players immediately requested refunds, citing undisclosed AI content, and some actually got them. A US congressman called for regulations to prevent companies from using AI to eliminate jobs. Creative Blog wrote, "Artists lose jobs, players hate it, and games cost more. Can't find the benefits." They're charging $70 for a premium product and cutting corners with AI generative filler content. In a franchise that makes billions of dollars annually, it felt cheap, it felt lazy, and it confirmed what players were already thinking. This game was designed by algorithm, not by people who cared. For over a decade, Call of Duty had no real competition in the military shooter space. Battlefield tried, but never got their numbers to be quite comparable. Black Ops 7 launched into a different world. Battlefield 6 released 1 month earlier and peaked 747,000 concurrent Steam players. It sold 10 million copies. It became the biggest Battlefield opening in franchise history. Arc Raiders sold nearly 8 million copies and hit 482,000 peak players on Steam, earning a Game Awards nomination for Best Multiplayer. Even Fortnite's Chapter 7 with its Simpsons crossover pulled attention away during the same launch window. For the first time in over a decade, players had legitimate alternatives, and they took them, for good reason beyond just the campaign and AI art. Black Ops 7's multiplayer also had its fair criticism. The gameplay is somewhat competent, reviews consistently praise the core gunplay, the maps are solid. The game launched with 18 maps, including remakes of the beloved Black Ops 2 classics like Hijacked and Raid. And they still added wall jumping, which I'll talk about in a bit. They also added the overclock equipment system and a 20v20 skirmish mode, responding to Battlefield scale. They even removed strict skill-based matchmaking from most playlists, which the community have been begging for. So why doesn't it matter? Because after 22 mainline Call of Duty games in 2 decades, competent isn't enough. The Gamer's headline nailed it by calling it too big to innovate. Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer was fast, responsive, and built on mechanical skill. Movement was simple, strafing, drop-shotting, quick-scoping, but had depth. Map design followed readable 3-lane structures with power positions and clear sightlines. Kill streaks rewarded gun skill. The core loop felt tight. Then everything went downhill, if you ask me. Advanced movement with jetpacks and wall running overcomplicated what worked. Mounting systems slowed gameplay and encouraged camping. Door mechanics added randomness. Specialists and operators with unique abilities moved the focus away from pure gunplay. Skill-based matchmaking got so strict that every casual match felt like a tournament qualifier. Each year they added more systems, more mechanics, and more complexity because they needed to differentiate this year's $70 purchase from last year's. Black Ops 7's multiplayer just didn't bring anything new and refreshing. Players are tired of a franchise that peaked 16 years ago and has spent every year since trying to recapture that magic by adding more stuff, instead of understanding why the original worked. As a cherry on top, I think there's one thing that made Modern Warfare 2 iconic that isn't talked about enough. Something that sounds completely insane if you weren't there. Voice chat. The mic quality was terrible. Every lobby had at least one person with a smoke detector beeping in the background. Someone's mom yelling at them to do their homework, a baby crying, music blasting through the cheapest headset ever made, kids screaming, adults screaming at the kids. The static and distortion made everyone sound like they were broadcasting from a submarine. It was shit. It was toxic. It was iconic. The pre-game countdown was 30 seconds of pure verbal warfare. People talking trash about your emblem, your clan tag, your gun choice, someone threatening to nuke the lobby, someone else claiming they've been to your house on Google Maps, 12-year-olds with voices that hadn't dropped yet explaining in graphic detail what they'd done to your mother.
I'll kill you, faggot. Yeah, get up.
And you stayed in that lobby. Match ends, same players, same chaos. You'd run into the same people 2, 3, 4 games in a row. Genuine rivalries formed. If someone talked trash and you destroyed them, you got to hear their rage in real time. If they destroyed you, you had to eat it until you got revenge. Search and destroy death comms meant you heard your victim's reaction the moment you killed them. There were no voice chat bans, no automated moderation, no report systems that actually did anything. It was the Wild West. And yeah, it got ugly sometimes. You'd start pulling out noob tubes, commando pro with a tactical knife combo, or trick shotting on high rise, leading to those shitty mic making nostalgic moments, remembered for decades to come. But modern Call of Duty? That's silent. Black Ops 7 has voice chat, technically, but nobody really uses it. Everyone's in Discord or party chat with friends. Lobbies disband after every match because people rage quit right away. There's no reason to talk because there's no continuity. No relationships form because the game actively prevents it. And when someone does use game chat, they get hit with voice chat bans for toxic behavior. Text chat has filters that block half the English language. You can't even type GG without triggering something. The game has been sanitized to the point of sterilization. Gaming has become more social. Discord exploded. Streaming culture took over. Everybody's more connected than ever. But in game, where it actually matters for the game's experience, Call of Duty became less social. The community layer that made Modern Warfare 2 memorable doesn't exist anymore. You don't remember Black Ops 7 lobbies because there's nothing to remember. Nobody talks, nobody stays, nobody cares. The game launched with the understanding that it's temporary, and players responded accordingly. Which raises the bigger question: what actually makes a game replayable? What separates the games you play for 2 months from the games you play for 2 years? Why do players still load up Modern Warfare 2 16 years later while Black Ops 7 is already bleeding players 3 weeks after launch? There's actually 3 rules to follow to make iconic games. Want to find out which ones? Click here to watch that video.